why didn't anybody ever approach me at any point in time and ask me if I have a place to live, to go to? I've been here for 3 months, right? So how can I make that decision? Who said that housing was my issue? Who made it? Who, Brandy? Who made that determination? We never had a conversation about housing being ever being an issue of mine. This is supposed to be about whether I want to do dialysis or not, which I wound up doing. But still, they never came up to me and said to me, do you have a place? That was never the issue. So how can they appoint some people without consulting me on that matter first? How do you move forward when that was never an issue? I don't understand that. You see how unlawful this shit is? How badly and desperately Paul Greenham don't want nobody to associate them with the being the federal marshal sting people when they bring psychiatric patients into your community, what they're there for in housing. You understand how desperate they are, TSI, to get out of that shit? Chanel Tazza, they come up with a whole new, some kind of shit that don't make no fucking sense. Nobody ever came up to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Morris, I never said I didn't have no place to go. I got plenty of options." One of the things she asked me was, I remember Brandy and the social worker in room 750 was, we talked about me not going back to the place I was at, where Karen is being used to help TSI get off the hook. She tried to kill me along with the Jewish dude, whatever the case is. I told him that I don't want to go back there. And I spoke to Emily a second time about, can we avoid going to court where you're going to help me find housing? So she said, all right, Emily, the social worker. But then after that, I agreed to the dialysis, regardless of how it came about, coughing up blood or not. I agreed to it before we went to court. So why are you going to hold me for housing when that was not an issue? I can go home. I can find a place to go. I have a place to go right now. I can go to my own house right now, 54 Surrey Lane. I have a house to go to. So I don't understand it. I don't know where they get this from. I can right now go to my house that I own at 54 Surrey. I own property at 54 Surrey Lane. So I don't understand how you enforce the law. A judge ruled housing is not my issue. That's not what I came here for, to the hospital for. When I had respiratory issues, I didn't come. Now, one thing the lawyer said to me today was, I think because somebody was trying to say, I think it was a psychiatrist, somebody said I wasn't paying rent because I'm part of the federal marshal's sting operation. I'm not going to cooperate with that shit. That's the embarrassing part. Why Paul Greenham called me from blocked phone numbers. They don't want to, when this shit blows over, people wouldn't know who the whole responsible or liable for phone records and stuff. You don't know who Paul Green is if you haven't ever seen him before. And shit. You understand it? And they won't let me out of the United States Federal Marshals, this custody shit. Like I've committed a crime and I got to work my way off this. I don't know what they have set up for me using that U-Haul of Hicksville shit. Now I understand it. Now I understand it, motherfucker. So, when I worked at the U-Haul in Hempstead, I was a fixture there. A fixture. Right? Diego Parra was my manager. They brought in Majorie Rodriguez. That's why they got Karen Downstairs killing me. She's Latin like Majorie Rodriguez. Now I understand this shit here. Woo! Now I get it. When I worked at the U-Haul in Hempstead with no lunch break on Zyprexa, but Dr. McDonald was my psychiatrist, a psychologist, they put in Majorie Rodriguez from Ecuador, El Salvador, where she's from. She lied on me and said I made some shit I did to her. So then Diego Para said, I'm transferring you one morning. I said, how you going to do this to me? Diego said, who's Colombian, you don't see the bigger picture. Then I spoke to Steve Ferris, who's federal marshal, who said, Jeffrey, you can leave the company, right? Where did they transfer me to, Jeffrey? Johnson Pettis. They was committing crimes. Now I understand what you did to me, you fucking son of a bitches. The United States Federal Marshals. Now I understand, you son of a bitches. I was going to a computer school at this time. When you transferred me, you included me with that Jericho staff. And Jack Kennedy just got fired. Patrick Mahoney for stealing $3,000. You son of a bitches, you associated me with that shit. What Nicholas Kennings was doing, Jonathan Pettis, who else, Jeffrey? And now I understand it. You mixed me up with that shit, saying I was down with that fucking, that whole cipher. I didn't know it. Meanwhile, I was the one to tell the story, like an asshole. I allegedly helped Steve Ferris and John Falco get that store back. Meanwhile, that was just because I had got that money from Jack Kennedy and turned it over to like I was a part of shit. On Zyprexa. That's why by the time I got to Hicksville U-Haul, the idea was I was dealing with credit cards. Now I understand, you son of bitches. Shit. Now I understand, you motherfuckers. Now I understand this shit here. Suggesting I was doing shit with credit cards and shit, or some shit. And the Puerto Rican bitches coming in about, you don't deserve to live shit, you don't deserve to live shit. And that resulted in me, and then I went to Dr. Raju, right? Said I'm exhausted, I needed a doctor's note. He sent me to the fucking Mercy. Basically, you motherfuckers, man. That's what it is. And one of the things one of these Chinese people said to me, and Peter Young, my situation said they believed I was put in Peter Young men's shelter because of credit cards and shit. And that's when Mona D. Thompson was brought in, gave me some good pussy. She worked for the federal government, talking about she had a credit card issue with that dude Hakeem. So when I broke up with her, it made it seem like now, all for the federal marshals to put me in housing like I was in part of a sting operation. They made an informant out of me, the federal marshals, against my will. Because my father was saying shit. I kept telling him some strange shit happening at the U-Haul, Dad. My father just bought that burgundy Camry, right? And he was trying to tell me, well, sometimes, Jeffrey, police run investigations, and I couldn't understand it. That's why every time I called the police on a customer and shit, you have me caught up in that exercise shit to make me feel like I'm part of, fuck you.